It's really my pleasure to introduce a distinguished artist, humanist, and co-founder of the International Institute for Peace, Forrest Whitaker. Forrest's social awareness has compelled him to seek ways of using the film media as a means of raising consciousness. For the last decade, he has dedicated his time towards extensive humanitarian work. He serves as a spokesman for the Ugandan child soldier orphanage, Hope North, providing community and hope to young victims of the Civil War. He has aided in the development of new buildings and fundraising, which helps sustain the school today. On June 21st, 2011, Forrest was sworn in as a UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador for Peace and Reconciliation. In this role, he focuses on global peace building through an anti-violent education research, training, and community building campaign. Through a partnership with Rutgers University, Forrest co-founded the International Institute for Peace, which focuses on conflict resolution and community empowerment through education-based programs. Forrest, we're absolutely thrilled to have you here today with us, and if I may welcome you to the podium now, we look forward to your words.
Thank you, Linda, Shaunak, and Farah Muhammad for inviting me here and allowing me to share with you and be in your presence, because it's really exciting when you are around individuals that you know have a focus towards changing and reshaping the world. You're the keepers of today. You are the present, and you are the shepherds of tomorrow. You are the future. And the seeds that you have been working with in your minds, incubating, I'm sure have been incubated really strongly here as you've had your discussions and moved things forward. I want to talk to you about community building, peace building, the International Institute for Peace. There's a lot of people who have been working aggressively in the area of peace building or community building. It's always difficult to transform conflict into a positive action and to move things forward in the way that you want. The institute that I co-founded is housed at Rutgers University. It has a master's and a BA program. It also has a certification program for conflict resolution and peace building. Aldo Civico is my partner. He's my co-founder. He had started the Institute of Peace at Columbia University, and now he's come over to Rutgers to work with me. He's an anthropologist by trade. And Rashri Patel is working with us on transformative leadership, an area which we feel very strongly about, which is about personal development and about leaders being able to feel strong and grounded in their space and their center. We do the same thing with Lauren Zander, who's working with us on our life coaching process, because the students, we want to be able to bring those skills into bear, particularly when you walk into areas of conflict. And one of our communication tools, we've just started launched up Wednesday, still developing, called The Place of Peace. It's an internet space that you're welcome to go to, sign on, profile page, discuss. On the page, you're going to find an area of conflict mapping across the world. You'll also find classes that will be coming up. You'll find information, and you'll be able to communicate with each other. We have an interfaith program, and we have a special emphasis on youth and women in peace building. It's one of our strongest emphases. We also have an environmental program. And just the other day, there was an emergency sent out from Tuvalu Island. There's a drought there. They've lost their water. Because of Storm Nina, they are now getting water shipped into this island. Same things occurring in other small developing island states. So we have to look to trying to help them through these conflicts. Hopefully with people like yourselves, we'll be able to move through and solve some of those issues. In a few years, Yemen will be running out of water. It's a global water shortage. We've seen the effects in Somalia, and we've seen the effects in the Gulf, and we need to be mindful and start to understand how we can help this situation. Because with water and conflict, they go hand in hand, meaning that there's about 4,000 deaths a day due to bad water and contamination and bad sanitation. And we have to address this issue because we're watching it like grab a hold of the planet in so many devastating ways. And this is what we consider peace building, because what we consider peace building really is community building, is being able to look at what's going on and what's wrong in a situation, grasp it, and try to aid it in moving itself forward and correcting itself. One of our programs is the Harmonizer program. In the Harmonizer program, we go to an area, and then in that country, we pair with a grassroots organization, and we send and train people to go out into the communities to do participatory research. They go out and tell us what's going on, explain to us, and then we try to take that information, synthesize it at Rutgers, at Princeton, and then give a solution and bring a solution to bear with economic or emotional space that's needed to do so. And these are the programs some of the programs that we're doing at the International Institute for Peace that we would solicit for you to be involved in the ways that you can, and if you're in the ways that would be helpful in your own projects. Because I'm sure many of you have amazing projects and organizations that you're working with. And we're an open source organization, so we are always just looking to partner, always looking to connect with other organizations. The thing is that each of us entered the world in the same way. We entered the world in the womb that nourished us. Everything was perfect. We wanted for nothing. Food was given to us, water, all our needs were taken care of without our thinking. When we moved inside of this womb, the whole universe moved with us. We kicked. The kick was felt in the entire universe. And then we were born. And then umbilical cord was severed, and we became disconnected from that sense of perfection, from this womb that nurtured us. So for the first time when we came out into the world, we felt hunger. We felt cold. We felt what it meant to be alone. We wanted to return to that amazing feeling. That's why many of us cry as we enter the world on this severing of connection. So we began this life search to return to that feeling of oneness that we felt in the womb, where we had everything, where everything was given to us. It was the beginning of a search and the beginning of a quest for us, a search that produced many changes in our lives, and we are the initiators of that change. As Gandhi and Martin Luther King illustrated, we are the change and can be the change that we wish to see in the world. We all have this thing inside of us that makes us able to choose to stand up for what we think is right and what we think is true, to protect certain things, because by protecting those things, we're protecting ourselves. And sometimes we forget. Sometimes we are seduced by this illusion of separation. We don't see the hero's journey that life has taken us on to become one again. We don't see how heroic we are in our own lives. And what I want you to recognize as I talk to you today when I leave is the heroic that exists inside of you. To understand that every step that you take around the corner, that you don't know what's going to happen, takes bravery. When we walk through life and we recognize the hurdles that we overcome every day, the fears that we've conquered, the fears that we've faced, the people that we've supported in moving them towards their own goals and their desires, we are committing heroism. Through simple acts of continuing onward, overcoming, pushing through, you become heroes. You were born heroes because the effort to overcome the pain and the difficulties, to choose to live in search of a life that's required and is your right, is heroic. And some people feel that the world is a hostile place, a difficult place. But they forget how brave they are. When we think of how, if you get a little piece of wood, a little splinter in your finger, how much pain it can cause, or how scraping an elbow on a wall can feel, or driving a car at 70 miles an hour, what can occur if we crashed, we realize that we are brave beyond measure. every morning that we wake up and continue living. We have to recognize that we're brave, but accept that we're safe. Trust ourselves that the world will not destroy us because we will not allow it. That without thinking, every day, we do heroic things. In fact, if I were to take a picture of you right now, many of you would be involved in the movements of today and the movements of tomorrow. Some will be well known, and others will be those individuals that we see marching in the books, in the history books. They're those nameless people, but those are the everyday heroes that face what we've seen or what we need to accomplish in this day. Those are the heroes that we see, the portraits of the past that we all look to when we try to get inspiration. Those individuals who surrendered to a purpose and allowed their intention to bring about the dream that they were fighting for. Because you can dream into reality your existence through action. Dr. King had a speech when he talked about the Promised Land. In the Promised Land, he contemplated having the opportunity to go back into time or go to any place in time. Where would he go? What period or place would he go to? I thought about it if I had this question for myself. Would I go back to the first moment that God uttered forth existence? Or would I go to sit with Buddha under the Bodhi tree? Or would I sit in a cave with Muhammad while he wrote the Quran? When Martin Luther King talked about it in his speech, he said that if there was any place he would go, he'd like to go and like to be allowed a few years in the second half of the 20th century, and that he would be happy. Just a few years in the second half of the 20th century. And we're now in the 21st century. We walk in the time that Martin talked about, the time when he said he would be able to see his dreams actualized. He said in his Nobel Peace Prize, he said, "I have the audacity to believe that people everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their spirits. And I believe that what self-centered men have torn down, men other-centered can build up. I still believe that one day mankind will bow before the altars of God and be crowned triumphant over war and bloodshed, and nonviolent redemptive goodwill will proclaim the rule of the land." And I realized, as I was going through all these different images of where I would like to be, that really there's no point in history I would rather be living in than right now. No moment that I'd rather be a part of than this moment here, your moment, right now. It may seem strange. Wars in Afghanistan, Libya, soldiers, Iraq, gang and drug violence, hurricanes in Haiti, earthquakes in Japan, monks being killed, tens of thousands of people killed in Mexico, millions are dying in Somalia, children turned into soldiers, girls turned into slaves. It seems like the planet is rejecting us. Places that were hot are now cold, places that are cold are now hot. There's conflict all over the world. It seems the world is teetering on chaos. Yet, we are uniquely connected. Connected by our action. We're connected by the internet. The internet has opened up a portal for us all over the world to talk to each other in an instant. It has helped the countries find freedom, not through its own power, but through the unique purposes that individuals have utilized it for. The intention that went into Egypt and others. Individuals, the everyday heroes who decided to live their lives through their purpose. Individuals who are pushing forward, moving the collective towards the right side, toward a world where we all live by certain moral rights. An act itself, which we can monitor, has a vibration. This vibration can affect others. You give out that vibration, and it's like a tuning fork. Those people who vibrate on that same energy will start to make a sound. Everyone at the same level. You're capable of doing this. Look at what they're doing. The Arab Spring, Spain, Tokyo, Wall Street. Choose your purpose. Choose your intention. You can manifest your desires. Paulo Coelho told me the other day, he said, be direct, be simple. Be active in your intention, in your purpose. From that thought, I ask of you to find your space, to dream, to manifest. For myself, I'd ask you, as an ambassador of peace, to just do one act of peace today. One act. Call a friend you fought with, talk to your brother if you had an argument with him, cousin, sibling, anyone you've wronged, someone you felt you needed to reach out to, do that. Do it again tomorrow, do it the day after that. These acts will ripple out. Your intentions of what you choose to do will ripple out into the world. You drive change. You're the present, you're the future. There's something heroic inside of you. That thing that is willing to fight for what you think is right at any cost. At any cost. Look to the better angels inside of yourself. Today you do this. Today she does this. Today he does this. Tomorrow there's a movement. All because you choose to today. Choose. You can make anything happen. Choose. Thank you.
I have to lower these mics first. What an amazing, amazing set of remarks. And there are so many things that you said, and you said it, and I quote, "We are brave, but we are safe. Choose." You have now ignited these girls, and you've crystallized in your remarks what we want them to do. Choose something. Choose something based on your passion. So, Forrest, you said there's nowhere else in the world you'd rather be. There's nowhere else in the world we'd rather you be today. So on behalf of the delegates, our partners, Belinda, our board, myself, we consider you a true friend of the foundation. We look forward to bringing you to Toronto, I hope, and spreading your message about peace and reconciliation, to figuring out how we can work together, given our shared interests. And Forrest, we thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
And of course, Forrest needs to get his number. So Forrest will get his number, and we're going to give him an official T-shirt of the summit and ask you to please get your number and join us as we empower girls and women around the world.
Definitely.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.